Austin, Texas. Visit it now and then.
Monsieur le Consul, it's almost time for you to leave.
I have plenty of time, Marie. Don't disturb me.
But this is the day, monsieur. You meet with the legislature, the Franco-Texan bill, oui?
Ah oui. Ah. You know, Marie, Austin is so young and beautiful. How majestic this city will be.
A timeless experience, where the past and the future come together, where the beauty of what we are is kept alive, and what's worthwhile in life is cherished. Austin, the center of government and Texas heritage. The heart of tradition and education. The governor's mansion. Sam Houston, President of the Republic, governor of the state. The father of Texas lived here. When it was built, Texas Rangers had to protect the workmen from Indians. Because of its frontier life, Sam Houston despised Austin. He wanted to move the capital to Houston. He said,
"In less than 3 years, if I'm elected, the streets of Austin shall again become the feeding place for buffalo and the hunting ground of red men."
When elected, Sam Houston sent men to seize the records. Angelina Eberly fired the cannon that drove them away, and Austin militia recovered the papers. Austin won the archive war and remained the capital. And by the time he was governor, Sam Houston, like all that come here, loved Austin, holding dear its beautiful scenery and bright prospects for the future. Austin was the dream of men and women like Mirabeau Lamar, Edwin Waller, and Elizabeth Ney. Waller saw the Colorado River winding through rolling green hills and envisioned a mighty capital reigning supreme over it all. Waller built his vision, the capital and the city, in 10 months. Then others shared his dream. Men like Alphonse de Saligny, the chargé d'affaires of France, who built the French legation, who wanted France and Texas to join together in a vast empire. But life then was primitive. When loose pigs ate Desaligny's corn, the pig war began.
Hé, les cochons là-bas! Sortez donc du maïs! Fichez-moi le camp!
It ended with Desaligny indignant, leaving Austin. And with him went his imperious dreams. Despite pig and archive wars, Austin flourished as a capital, where culture and beauty burst over Texas, took hold, and flowered. In the late 1800s, Austin was booming. Street signs showed up on corners. Moonlight towers lit up neighborhoods at night. Bigger and better houses were built. The old capital burned down, and out of its ashes rose a more glorious one. And rising out of the melting pot of Germans, Mexicans, Swedes, Czechs, former slaves, was a new Texan, an Austinite, proud of his heritage, helping the city grow by giving it roots. 1853, St. David's. Staunch and forthright like its minister, Patrick Henry's great-grandson, it stood at the gate of the city like a visible prayer. 1873, St. Mary's Cathedral. Its stained glass windows were made in Germany and France. An Irish vision, it was originally called St. Patrick's. 1907, Our Lady of Guadalupe Church, founded to serve the needs of Hispanic Catholics. Other structures include the Hanig Building. Joseph Hanig's wife, Susanna Dickinson, and her infant daughter were the survivors of the Alamo. The Carrington Store, owned by the former slave Edward Carrington. A generous man, he provided groceries to the needy and lent money to blacks to purchase land. In contrast, the Bremond Block, houses of Walter, Eugene, John, and Pierre Bremond. Splendid Victorian homes of a wealthy Austin family. They're part of over 250 historically zoned structures protected by the city's historic zoning. On the cultural scene, the Millet Opera House offered artistic endeavors. In the 1800s, England's famous Shakespearean actor Henry Irving appeared there for weeks. Later, the Paramount Theater resounded with Sarah Bernhardt carrying on Austin's artistic tradition, a tradition enhanced by Laguna Gloria. Operated as an art museum, it was originally willed to the Texas Fine Arts Association by Clara Driskill. The woman who saved the Alamo from destruction gave us another beautiful place. In Austin's Hyde Park, there's the Elizabeth Ney Museum. Originally called Formosa, it was the 19th century studio of sculptress Elizabeth Ney. Rebellious, independent, she left Germany after sculpting celebrated contemporary Germans, Bismarck, Jacob Grimm, King Ludwig, and the great philosopher Schopenhauer. In Austin, she sculpted Texas greats, Sam Houston, and Stephen F. Austin, for whom the city was named. And in the State Cemetery reposes her likeness of General Albert Sidney Johnston. Another artist, William Sidney Porter, gained fame a different route, in prison. But for years prior to that, Austin was his home. He lived in the city, working as a bank teller. And he also ran the humor periodical, The Rolling Stone. When imprisoned for embezzling, he wrote stories that became classics, just as he became O. Henry. Not far from the O. Henry House is the Driskill Hotel. Built in 1885, it was called one of the finest hotels in the country, where elegant balls and cotillions were held. In contrast, the Capitol was intended to be white, but the limestone selected streaked in weather. So native red granite was hauled from Marble Falls and shaped into the famous, awe-inspiring structure at the end of Congress Avenue. The new Capitol was to continue the long and dramatic history of its predecessors, one that saw Sam Houston resign his governorship when Texas joined the Confederacy on the 25th anniversary of the Battle of San Jacinto, that saw him leave and die, broken-hearted that Austin was no longer a capital in his beloved country. His presence can still be felt in the governor's mansion, home to every governor since 1856. Out of 12 such built in the United States, it is one of 6 still in use. And the memories of all the Texas leaders linger there, preserved and cherished. Just as the memory of Lyndon Johnson is present in the LBJ Library. He, like all the others, is part of Texas and Austin. Austin dreamt itself a future, and in so doing bequeathed itself a past. Wondrous visions are Austin's legacy. The Texas legend lives, beautiful, majestic. Austin is a city of peace and vitality, of fun and celebration, of history, heritage. Like a sturdy oak with deep, enduring roots, Austin rises over the state in all its quiet power, the city shining atop the hill.